Let the village board meeting begin. Um, my name is Adora Iyogbete, and I'm standing in for the mayor today. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If the clerk can please do roll call.
Trustee Bush.
Good evening. I'm Julia Bush, a junior from Tinley Park High School, here to talk on behalf of Village Trustee of Administration and Legal, William Brady. William Brady.
Just say present for now. He's just doing roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Present.
Trustee Goyola.
Present.
Trustee Shoot. I'm sorry. Trustee, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Shooty?
He's not present right now.
Oh, it's not, right. Trustee Malik.
Present.
Trustee Moriarty.
Present.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Present.
Quorum is present. At this time, we'll all be giving a brief report on what we learned on our position from the last 2 weeks. I'll start. Like I said, my name is Adora Iyogbete. I'm a freshman at Andrew High School, and I had the amazing opportunity to shadow the mayor a few weeks ago. And I learned a million things about the mayor and all the jobs that he does. And before I start, I just want to take a moment and say how amazing of a person he is and how nice and articulate he was. And he really did explain his duties to me as a mayor, which made this a really cool learning experience for me. And the first thing I noticed about Mayor Vandenberg is his love for Tinley Park. I remember he mentioned that he had family members that were involved in the Tinley Park government, and he's always loved this community. And I think that's a very great quality to have as a mayor. I also learned how difficult Mayor Vandenberg's job is. He's not just a mayor, but he's also a liquor commissioner for new restaurants and bars and such, which means he has to review documents to give liquor licenses and make sure that everybody's following code. He overall just wants decisions based on what's good for Tinley Park, and he wants to see good businesses thrive. He also does a lot of ceremonial things, like he talks to schools and he swears people in for things. I also learned that the mayor has a business on the side, and he's also like a huge family man, so he's extremely busy. So I think we can all agree that time management skills are very important when you're a mayor. In conclusion, I'm really happy with the things I've learned about the mayor, and I'm blessed for the opportunity to understand a little bit about the things that happen within our local government.
All right. So I interviewed the mayor clerk, and though she was quite the amount of pain due to tooth surgery prior to me interviewing her, she tried her best. And honestly, I enjoyed the interview quite a lot because not only does she try her best in the position she serves as village clerk, but she also is a teacher and teaches German and English, I believe, and has a really interesting history. She served in the military. She's apparently served in the FBI, is to what she told me, and her stories are just amazing, really. But basically, she's trying to progress the village as a whole, and mostly advance the village in terms of technology. She told me that she wanted to remove most things that are outdated, such as parking stickers. She believes that they're just old and they shouldn't be renewed. They're just outdated, and she has all the minutes dated back to 1892. There are two different books, one from 1892 and one that's more recent. I believe that started somewhere between 2012. But when she's in a meeting, she can't really inquiry, but unless she's asked to. But she does keep record of all the meetings and tries to digitalize them. That's basically it.
Julia Bush.
Good evening. I am Julia Bush, a junior from Tinley Park High School, here to talk on behalf of Village Trustee of Administration and Legal, William Brady. Trustee Brady is a dedicated hard worker whose work does not go unnoticed. He has deep roots in this community. He is a Boy Scout leader, cooks food for senior citizens, and also drives for a senior citizen transport. He puts every ounce of his time he has to help make Tinley Park Township a safe and enjoyable place to live. He takes his job very seriously and dedicates time to make sure his job is done to the best it can be and ensures fairness. His typical workday involves meeting with staff, solving village issues, and discussing ways to make Tinley Park a better place to live. To Trustee William Brady, he is grateful to have a job where he can make his voice heard and improve our village. The best part of the job is the opportunity to see the immediate impact he makes. It is important that the people of Tinley Park knows that he is dedicated and he is accessible for any of the people's needs. Being trustee of administration and legal means having a passion to help the community, dedication to the work as an individual, respecting others' perspectives, and taking the responsibilities that follow the job. Trustee William Brady is a kind, fair, and compassionate person that makes him the perfect person for the job. From the time I have spent with Trustee William Brady, he has displayed the qualities needed to do his job effectively and is a benefit to the village of Tinley Park.
Emma Goyola.
Good evening. I'm Emma Gaiola, a junior from Tinley Park High School. I was very lucky that I had the opportunity to meet with Community Development member Michael Mueller. I learned so much about him and about what he does for my hometown, Tinley Park. Being involved with the village of Tinley Park is not the only thing Mr. Mueller does in his life. He was elected in April of 2019 and was ready to provide for the community and make a change. He also has an outside job, wife, and family, and still finds time to make sure our city is in the right hands. The reason Mr. Mueller got involved with the village is because he was inspired to make a stand for Tinley Park. He put a group together and put forth all his time and energy to get where he is now. Mr. Mueller's job for Tinley Park involves creating new ideas for the community. He meets for a meeting every Tuesday. On Wednesday, he comes up with agendas, and then on Friday, those agendas are put into place. These meetings consist of anything from making laws, ideas for the community, issues in the community, how we can make Tinley Park a better place, having a voice, and the ability to just speak your mind. One of Mr. Mueller's ideas for the community of Tinley Park is making it more of an entertainment and family-correlated community. I agree with this idea about the entertainment side of Tinley Park. We do have a lot of social events which attract so many people to our town, so why not add more? Granted, we do already have our amazing concert spot at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater right off of 183rd and Oak Park Avenue, which is a great place for events and big-name entertainment. I love this area because it leaves an opportunity to get the community together, enjoy some great artists, and most of all, have fun. I attend at least one concert there every summer with friends and family, and they never disappoint. Bringing more events like this to Tinley Park will attract so many outsiders to our great community. Another brilliant idea is adding some type of sports complex to Tinley Park. This would attract so many people to our community, provide business for our great restaurants and hotels, and just publicize everything our town has to offer. Being an athlete myself, I have traveled to so many places just to play one simple soccer game because those distant facilities are the closest option to us. If we provide a sports complex that will bring people from all around the area together to experience the greatness of Tinley Park, it could make our town a place where more people will visit or perhaps make it their home. This could also provide a space for out-of-season athletes to practice and stay in shape during the off-season. In the facility, it could provide a dual purpose to be used as an entertainment venue. Adding a restaurant and bar inside will attract so many families together to watch their kids play the sports they love. All in all, I truly want to thank everyone who's a part of the Village of Tinley Park, and especially Mr. Mueller, for all they do for Tinley Park. Thank you for putting your free time into making Tinley Park a better place. I love my town, and I can't wait to watch it grow as I do.
Eric Shute.
Hello, I'm Eric Schutte, and I met with the village trustee in finance, Diane Galanti. And my first impression that she was a very devoted individual. She has it's a part-time elected position. She was elected last April. And she really, the first thing she told me is that she ran for the position because she believed that there were changes that she could bring that needed to be brought, because finance has an impact on everything in government, and not a lot of people realize that. And that's why during the election she had to go door to door, old school, and tell everybody why she should be elected. So some of the things that they do. with finance, every new item brought to the table needs to be financed. So every budget needs to be planned. If there's not enough money to support a new plan, then it needs to be budgeted for. And mainly money is brought from taxes on businesses such as revenue, but also sales tax. Mainly money is brought from automobile retail, so Benhausen. But some new plans that were brought to get new revenue would be the racino or the casino that was proposed that didn't go as planned. But projects like that would ultimately affect everything, every aspect of Tinley Park, from new businesses to, say, a new plan like the plaza that's being renovated that would bring in more businesses that would ultimately lead to a better standard of living for Tinley Park. And one thing that the whole group focuses on is to make sure that every plan benefits everybody. They don't want anybody to be left out or feel like they've been neglected. So they try to bring benefits for both residents and businesses so that everybody's happy, but the money is still being circulated. And some ways that they bring in new businesses is incentives for businesses to try and get more money flowing. So things like supporting business so that that business could set up shop in Tinley Park, because we have very high taxes, so there needs to be something for a business for Tinley Park to be beneficial for that business. And Mrs. Galanti works with the Chamber of Commerce to encourage new benefits for these businesses, because ultimately there needs to be more money to be in the circulation. Overall, the position is mostly working with budgets and planning new items. So anything that's brought to any meeting needs to be budgeted for, and she also needs to make sure that there's no shady businesses going on, because Illinois may or may not be known for that sort of thing. So that's ultimately a thing she needs to keep an eye on as well. But mostly just budgeting new items, anything brought, say, from Public Works, because last year I did this for Public Works. Any new plan for Public Works, like sewers or pipelines, we need a budget for that, because everything needs to be accounted for. That's really it.
Here is Malik.
Hi, I'm Haris Malik, and I'm a junior at Lincoln Waste High School, and I had the honor of shadowing Public Trustee William Brennan, who is the Public Safety Trustee of Tinley Park. The Public Safety Trustee of Tinley Park has many responsibilities as a trustee. The main goal of the trustee is to keep the residents and citizens of Tinley Park safe and sound from any harm or danger. To accomplish this goal, the trustee works hand in hand with the fire and police chief to make sure that both departments have the most up-to-date and necessary tools, equipment, and capital to ensure the safety of Tinley Park citizens. The Public Safety Trustee is one of 3 votes on the Public Safety Committee. He is also the head of this committee, which is comprised of 2 other members. This board votes on anything related to public safety, such as getting new equipment, such as a fire engine for the fire department, or getting new funds to a specific department, or hiring any new officer or fireman or woman. And he is also the Public Safety Committee is also responsible for handling the medical emergency services provided by the Tinley Park government. It is then the job of the trustee to report any of the problems that the committee decides on to the board of Tinley Park to make sure that the right people, such as the fire department or the police department or the medical emergencies, get their certain tools, equipment, or funds to help the residents of Tinley Park, and not only keeping them safe, but helping them in some of their worst times, such as the medical services. the trustee, just as many other members on the board, has other duties in the government as well, such as he is responsible for directing the office of the other office members of the government to ensure that the people of Tinley Park are happy and satisfied with the job the government is doing for them. The trustee also has, just like many of the other trustees and board members, has another side job. He is a State Farm agent. He owns a State Farm insurance firm on LaGrange, and he also has 2 kids. He ran for this position because he grew up in Tinley Park, and his childhood was in Tinley Park, and he saw that there were issues that the government, or specifically the chair, was not dealing on, that he thought that he could add his experience into and help solve these issues. As a trustee, he has done a great job, as Tinley Park was recently ranked as one of the safest cities in the Midwest. So I'd like to thank you, Trustee Bunny Brennan, for that. Thank you.
Brian Moriarty.
Good evening. My name is Brian Moriarty, and I am a senior at Tinley Park High School. My counterpart was Trustee Cynthia Berg, who serves as the chair of the Marketing Committee of the Village. The Marketing Committee manages commercial relationships with private companies and oversees various tax policies and tax increment financing districts. As trustee and chairperson, Ms. Berg regularly attends meetings of resident-run commissions and acts as a liaison for their decisions and village policy. In addition to that, Ms. Berg also represents the village in public events. Beyond her role as a public village official, Ms. Berg has been a registered nurse for over 30 years and currently works as a school nurse at Bloom Trails High School. A lifelong resident of Tinley Park, Ms. Berg considers her duties as a public official as helping the family she has known her entire life. I had the privilege of attending an economic and commercial commission meeting with Ms. Berg, where I learned about village grants and programs for various locations of Tinley Park. Ms. Berg explains to me what such grants aim to do, like a facades grant's purpose to beautify the exteriors of businesses within the village, or a code compliances grant's purpose to assist local businesses with meeting code standards. As Ms. Berg explained to me the purposes of many different grants, programs, and financing methods, I was struck by her capacity to be so familiar with village financial institutions, as well as medical knowledge related to her profession as a registered nurse. This has given me a new respect for the position of a trustee, as so often the occupant is accustomed to not only village matters, but also of their job outside of the village. Learning about Ms. Berg's responsibilities as a trustee for the village has been an extremely informative experience for me. Her balancing between her job, trustee position, and family highlights the devotion she has towards public service, and I am immensely grateful for having such an outstanding individual on the village board.
Ayla Siddiqui.
Ilyas, okay. Hi, my name is Ilyas Siddiqui. I'm a junior at Andrew High School. I had I'm sorry. I had the opportunity to work with Public Works Trustee Michael Glotz. He's a good man. He's very focused on his work, and I've learned that he worked previously in construction, and what he really wanted to do, he really wanted to reshape Tinley Park as it is, like it never has been. Just recently, I attended one of their meetings last Tuesday, which discussed the lack of maintenance workers in our community. As of July 1st, 2018, there were only 38 maintenance workers overall in our population of 56,204. I've learned a lot over these past 2 weeks, and I've really felt that public works really does make a difference in our government, no matter how big or how small, and we can't make a government work without public works.
Aaron Tannerella.
Hi, I'm Erin Tinarella. I got the opportunity to job shadow Mr. David Niemeyer. He's the village manager. And as a village manager, Mr. Niemeyer, he basically oversees all of the activities done by the village. Every morning he assigns work to all of the directors based on what's assigned to him through the different trustees and the mayor. Mainly though, he plans, organizes, and directs all activities regarding the village. He is a non-elected official. So he recommends different ideas to the board, and he agrees with whatever the board majority says. He implements the laws, and then he oversees the implementation of the laws. A lot of his job also has to do with budgeting, and he works closely with the village treasurer to ensure everyone and everything has the money that they need to get whatever they want and need to get done. And he listens to the people of the town, which I thought was really nice. He goes to a lot of meetings, he's on the phone a lot, he answers a lot of calls and emails, and he tries to make sure that he knows what the people of Tinley want as well. He also does a lot with economic development issues. He tries to work on getting new businesses into Tinley Park. He tries to help with like the abandoned buildings, and he wants to get people's opinions and make these things occur at the best expense of the village. And then he takes what these people want and he recommends them to the town and to the board during meetings. And he basically just oversees a lot of the activities that the people in this room do, and he tries to make sure that everything is done at the best it can be so that Tinley Park is the best village it can be.
Jackson Scanberg.
Good evening. I had the pleasure of interviewing Pat Carr, the director of EMA, and also the assistant village manager of Tinley Park. Pat Carr has been serving the village of Tinley Park for 15 years. Being the assistant village manager, he is in charge of dispatching emergency services as the director of EMA, and is also the head of various departments such as the IT department here at the village hall. In addition, Pat Carr is a working member 24/7 for the past 15 years, and he's always on call. Pat Carr has also occasionally been known to go out and help at locations of emergencies when no one is available. Pat Carr was appointed to this position 15 years ago after serving in the Air Force, and transitioned his command and other skills from that occupation to being the assistant village manager of our town. I would like to mention something Pat Carr said to me when social media started being popularized in 2016. It came out that when incidents happen around the town, misinformation about the incidents can harm his department, and he has to sort that out, such as ending the spread of false information and rumors, and also having to directly deal with the rumors and misinformation spread throughout the town. And I would like to end my speech tonight by saying, consider what you spread around the town and how you use social media in the face of disasters, as it can make our town safer and improve the community.
Alexandra Sullivan.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Sullivan, and I'm a sophomore at Andrew High School, and I had the opportunity to shadow Paul O'Grady, the village attorney. First, he started in Quantico, and then he later on started representing police officers, and then he moved into his law firm and started doing other things and became the village attorney. And as the village attorney, there are many aspects to Mr. O'Grady's job. He is the village prosecutor, which entails dealing with ticket fines and lawsuits against the village. He also advises the planning commission, which relates to zoning, and directing companies what they can and cannot build in certain locations, keeping in mind the atmosphere of the area. Mr. O'Grady deals with employment and labor law as well, relating to HR complaints and discrimination in the workplace. During board meetings, such as the one we are mocking, the village attorney's role is to answer any legal questions that arise, making sure that the meeting is run properly. There is a novel called Robert's Rules of Order that introduces all the meeting protocols that the village attorney has everyone follow. During the meetings, it is the village attorney's duty to remain neutral and keep order. We keep the meeting on task, relating to the agenda only, and making sure everyone stays professional. The village attorney has a large and important role designated to them and help keep the community better.
Lainey O'Boyle.
Hello, again, I'm Lainey O'Boyle, and I got to have the opportunity to learn about our Community Development Director, Mrs. Kimberly Clark. Overall, it was really just a pleasure to sit in with her and learn of her position and how it falls into the intricacies of our local government. Not only does she work with our day-to-day residents and other members of the community, but as her role as director, she actually runs 3 departments. The economic department of the community development, which kind of works for, the bigger picture of the community and reaching out to others to keep Tinley Park proactive and keep new businesses coming in. And then from there comes the planning department, where all details of said plan of bringing in new businesses or working with current businesses and its overall impact is worked through. Her goal and her whole department's goal is to really just keep with the town vision of Tinley Park. And I found it interesting that she is able to keep with the town's vision, even though that vision changes day to day with the modern day and all its changes that come with it. And then from there, obviously, is the building department of all of this, and which her main goal, and obviously the village's main goal is, life safety. And with that comes energy efficiency, which is a growing issue in today's world, especially in our community. So I have a lot of respect for her and her department for making sure that our community is not only safe, but also energy efficient. Her job as a whole, besides running 3 departments, is very diverse. She takes the smallest details into account to make the biggest changes. And she says that it is an ever-learning field. So, for me, it's hard enough to imagine running 1 field, let alone 3. So, again, major respect to her for that. She says that when she was in college, she started off as a business major, and she kind of, quote-unquote, fell into urban planning. And from there, just seeing how far she has come and how much she has helped this community has really shown her drive and her motivation to help the town of Tinley Park. Because her job is really, it's not just planning. She says that there is the social aspect of speaking with the residents of the community, working with terms of sociology so that she knows how to interact with other people in their environment. And she also has to do business negotiations, which obviously was probably what she thought she would go into when she was my age, but not everything always goes according to plan. But in her case, it went well. And overall, Mrs. Kimberly Clark is just an open-minded, hardworking woman and does so well in her position, and I'm very grateful that I was able to learn about it these last 2 weeks.
Ethan Ryan.
Hello, my name is Ethan Ryan. I'm a junior at Andrew High School, and I had the privilege of meeting with the Director of Public Works, John Urbanski. John Urbanski, he helps to the Tinley Park Department of Public Works provide a high level of service to the community of Tinley Park. As director, he's in control of taking care of 31 village-owned facilities and over 4,000 street lamps and water supplies within the community. And he's in charge of the 3 branches of his facility, which is water and sewage, streets and storm, and facilities and fleets. And within those 3 branches, he is in charge of over 100 maintenance workers. And he was always into public works as he started at a young age. And as the director, he is key to maintaining and keeping up with all the mishaps that happen within our community. And it's fair to say they are doing a very good job because we have yet to have a snow day at Andrew. And so he is the key to keeping up with everything in our community and our streets that we love because of all the snow. And any of our street lamps, he's the guy who's in charge of fixing all that, and all of our sewage, our water mains, and all that. He's in charge of basically keeping up our community up to date and speed that it is, and he's doing a great job. And thank you.
Mia Raquelli.
Good evening. I'm Mia Rosselli. I'm a junior at Andrew High School, and I had the honor of meeting with Kobe Zemedas, the village engineer. The village engineer takes care of things we don't even take a second to think about or take advantage of, such as availability to fresh water 24/7 or having clean, sanitized streets all the time. The entire operation can be simplified into 3 phases. Phase 1, the discussion phase, 2, the planning design phase, and stage 3, the application phase. The engineer takes care of village projects such as fixing water pipes and roadways improvements, and even smaller operations such as sidewalk repairs, bike path, curb gutter repairs, and drainage repairs. The engineer is in charge of an abundance of important aspects that keep Tinley Park running smoothly and successfully. To Kobe and for all of the hard work every day, along with everyone else here, thank you for your dedication to keeping Tinley Park safe, sufficient, and family friendly. Thank you.
Marina Moyer.
Hello, my name is Marina Moore. I am a junior at Tinley Park High School, and my counterpart is Treasurer Brad Benhausen. This being my second time participating in this program, I am proud to admit that the experience is still the same, memorable. I'm glad that I chose to be a part of it once again to learn more about my community, Tinley Park. My counterpart, Mr. Brad Benhausen, helped me to get to know a little more about what goes into running this community financially. As a financial director, Mr. Benhausen is responsible for money transactions, where it comes from, how it's spent, audit reports, as well as treasurer reports. As part of this position, there are many different deadlines that must be met. To help with all the hard work attached to this position, there are 5 finance districts within the village. The board creates different funds for local desires, but also tracks revenue separately for specific purposes. Specific purposes for guiding the village of Tinley Park financially include working on payment plans, utilizing bonds for both loans as well as investments. When I asked Mr. Benhausen how would he define his position, his response was, "I'm responsible for working with the village budget, managing it with the help of my team, and planning ahead for the future of the village." He says that the best part about his job is the fact that no 2 days are alike. That is what keeps it fun and interesting. He finds doing the financial projects as well as looking into budgets for potential projects as an incentive to his job. Mr. Benhausen was appointed this position 36 years ago. Until this day, it takes him in a different direction daily. What first started out as a part-time job has evolved into a full-time accounting job that he enjoys very much. Mr. Benhausen is involved with different treasurer organizations within the state who look for his advice when handling different projects. He says that responsibility, being strategic, as well as prioritizing are important traits that must be used when working this job. One must understand the balance of money and practice it so the village can function smoothly. Taking part in this program was a great experience. Learning more about my community and Mr. Benhausen's position as the village treasurer gave me an insight to see how the bigger picture is formed. So I'd like to say thank you again for the opportunity and experience of getting to know more about Tinley Park.
Nolan Enright.
Hi, I'm Nolan Enright, a junior from Lincoln East. I had the opportunity to learn about one of the most essential positions in our municipal government. When people think of fire chief, they assume of just leader of the firehouse. After talking with our fire chief, Forrest Reeder, I can tell you that that is just the surface of his responsibilities. As chief, he is also responsible for managing the budget, assessing and strategizing the thousands of emergency calls, and informing the public on ways to keep your family safe. Our budget in Tinley Park for fire is planned accordingly on facilities like the new fire station on 167th and soon-to-come new battalion car that are both designed to maximize the efficiency and safety of both residents and personnel. The fire department gets over 3,000 fire calls per year, with car accidents being the most common. On my visit to Fire Station 1, I got an inside look on all our fire equipment, including the water rescue boat and recently purchased ladder truck. After that, I got a chance to see our 911 dispatch room. The room is full of state-of-the-art technology and equipment to locate not just fires, but crime as well. Lastly, on my tour, I got a chance to see our emergency management room, where in the event of a village crisis, heads of their respective departments can make decisions with each other hastily. The fire department also has an annual Fire Safety 5K, where families can become educated and the proceeds go to fire prevention. Here in Tinley Park, we are very fortunate to have people like Forrest in position to make differences in others' lives.
Brianna Clayton.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brianna Clayton, and I'm a citizen of Tinley Park and a student at Tinley Park High School. I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to speak to our town's very own Chief of Police, Mr. Matthew Walsh. Chief Walsh and I spoke about various things about his career, from what his day consists of to the different types of people he gets to meet and work with every day. For example, his typical day consists of many meetings and taking care of anything that may or may not go wrong. He also often goes out into the field not only on normal work days, but also sometimes on holidays. He also explained to me that he worked for the Cook County Sheriff's Department for about 28 years before being appointed into becoming the chief for Tinley Park, which he said was very rewarding for him. When I asked him what the biggest adjustment was, he said it was being the head of the job and everything goes to him. Even though he includes the entire department in his decision-making, the final choice is always his to make. He gets to meet many different people in his line of work. He explained that crime is everywhere in the world, but there is always something new and different in other places. The best part of the job for him is not only making our town a better and safer place, but also helping others make better decisions. He shared many stories with me and what he gets to experience and see in his everyday life. Another thing he explained to me that I took to be very important was to always keep a balance in your life, especially in his line of work. Police officers experience many things for their jobs that not everyone else has to see and go through. He told me that to never forget what you have outside of your work life and to make sure you always hold it close with you, which I hope to take this piece of advice with me forever no matter what. I loved getting the opportunities to speak with Chief Walsh and learning more about what he does in our town's government, and I hope to continue learning. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you.
Gianna Vita.
Good evening. I'm Gianna Vita, and I'm a senior at Lincoln Way East High School. And my counterpart is Barbara Rose Whalen, who is one of the library board trustees. When I first found out that I was assigned the library board, I wasn't quite sure what that position entailed. But as I talked more to Barbara Rose, I discovered what an underrated position that the trustees of the library board have. Barbara Rose told me that as a child, she would always spend a large amount of time in the library. This makes sense, as she has spent her life dedicating herself to children's education. As a librarian herself for 17 years, she always tried to get more kids to read. She said, "The community grows when you teach kids at a young age," which shows how much she values improving children's knowledge to create an intelligent community full of good citizens. The library board as a whole does so much for the community of Tinley Park that not many people know about. They're the ones that set up the activities at the library for kids, teenagers, and adults, which range from magic shows to yoga classes, which I also wasn't aware of until Barbara set up a tour of the library for us. These are the ways they try to reach out to the public and get more people involved with what the library has to offer. The trustees' jobs are to discuss topics and questions pertaining to the library and vote on the things they want done or passed. For example, the board has dealt with the discussion on if there should be certain books banned from the library, which the board voted against. Barbara Rose's goal is to be on the library board for a quarter of a century, and she's already been on it for a little over 20 years. From speaking with her, I can tell she loves being a board member, the community of Tinley Park, the library, and all the staff that work hard to make the library a great place.
Patricio Flores.
My name is Patricio Flores. I'm a senior at Andrew. I had the opportunity to meet with Dana Frankie. She is the marketing director of Tinley Park. One of the keys behind being a marketing director is transparency. She has a team of a special event coordinator, a public info coordinator, a social media coordinator, a marketing assistant, and a graphic design person. She operates throughout with social media and through her websites as well. One of the things she has been working on is Tinley Park Amplified, which is many of the signs that you see around. She has influence in the marketing, tourism marketing. She is starting a new, she's promoting a new program, it's Lock It or Lose It, which is one of the things that they've been trying to give out to the community. One of the things she's been doing is working, getting out the weekly newsletter to the people of Tinley Park, so they have an idea what the community is holding or what's happening in the community as well. And annual reports such as what's happening with the financial, where's the money going and people knowing where the money's going. So once again, going back to the idea of transparency, I felt like it was a great opportunity. There's a lot of things I didn't know about. I've lived here for about 7 years, and it's great to put a face to the names, face and a name to the things that are going on around my community, and especially seeing all the amazing things that their team has been doing, and she has been doing as well. So I would like to thank you too.
Each school will now present a proposal to the village board. We will begin with Andrew High School.
We believe road potholes are a huge issue in Tinley Park. To fix this, we propose that we use the same mobile app as Chicago does for street maintenance issues. This app allows any city resident to take a picture of potholes and send them to Chicago Streets and Sanitation Department. This way, they would know the exact place, condition, and estimate cost of the repairs in real time.
Is there any discussion or comment? Is there a motion to be approved? Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next we have Lincoln Way East High School.
Hello, again, my name's Lainey O'Boyle, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but I am a senior from Lincoln Way East and serving as the representative from East. We as a group have come to propose that stop signs be implemented all 4 ways on the streets of Fairfield Lane and Glenshire Street in Brookside Glen. Though there is currently a yield sign, due to large trees blocking one driver's views and careless driving of some, more safety regulations really should be put in place to keep our community and our drivers safe at all costs.
Is there any discussion or comment? Is there a motion to be approved? Is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Last, we have Tinley Park High School.
We would also like to recognize that there's a severe pothole issue in the neighborhoods around the village of Tinley Park. We propose that the village investigate a cleaner, safer, and long-lasting solution to a problem that affects everyone in the village. By tackling the pothole issues as they arise, the bigger potholes can be avoided in the long run. For the safety and the maintenance of our cars, we propose to get the holes out of the roads in our neighborhoods.
Is there any discussion or comment? Is there a motion to be approved? Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are there any comments from the floor at this time? I'd like a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Do I hear a second?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
School and Principal Sharon McCulloch and Pat Leonard, and special thanks to Andrew High School's Principal Robert Nolting, who's here in attendance, and Mark Lobes. Also, some thanks to our village officials and staff for their time, participation, and buy-in to this great program year in, year out. We appreciate your time and your ability to hopefully plant the seed in these young students' mind to make a positive difference in our Tinley Park community. So give it up for the village staff and officials. Also, some special thanks for the assistance, coordination, and communication from the following: Sue Paul, Denise Politano, Donna Framke, and Lisa Valley. And last, I want to give big thanks to the team of the Community Resource Commission, including those in attendance today: Don Budney, Mike Cutrano, Al Seegers, Deb Melchart, Barbara Rose Whalen, Mike Severe, and Denise Politano. With that said, I am going to call the village counterpart, if they're here, to come up and get a picture with the student at the front here as we present them some plaques and take their pictures. So at this time, could I have Don Budney from the CRC come up to present the plaques? With that, I'm going to call Adora Ogbede, and standing in for Mayor Vandenberg will be Trustee Michael Glotz. Excellent. Next up, we will have Dante Redman come down with Kristen Therian. Okay, excellent. Now we'll have Julia Bush come down and Trustee Bill Brady. Okay, excellent. Now Emma Gaiola, please come forward, and Trustee Michael Mueller. Yep. Gotta be quick. Now I'd like to call down Eric Schutte and Trustee Diane Galante. Okay. Haris Malik and Trustee William Brennan. Okay. Brian Moriarty and Trustee Cynthia Berg. Okay. Ilyas Siddiqui and Trustee Michael Glotz. We're just doing some plaque shuffling. Okay. Now will Aaron Tinarella come forward with David Niemeyer, Village Manager.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nice job, Dave. Jackson Scanberg, please come forward, and Assistant Village Manager, Director EMA, Pat Carr. Okay, excellent. Now will Alexandra Sullivan come down, and in place of Paul O'Grady, it'll be Doug Spala. will Lainey O'Boyle come forward with her counterpart, the Community Development Director, Kimberly Clark. Okay, thanks, Don. Next, will Ethan Ryan approach the front, as well as John Urbanski, Assistant Director of Public Works. Okay. Mia Riccelli, please approach the front with her counterpart, Village Engineer Colby Zamitis. Next, will Marina Moorer please approach the front with Village Treasurer Brad Bentenhausen. Nolan Enright, please come up front and join him, joined by Forrest Reeder, the fire chief. Next, will Brianna Clayton come up front? She's got her fan club, that's good. And joining her is Police Chief Matthew Walsh. Gianna Vita, please come up front, and joining her is Barbara Rose Whalen, the Library Board. Okay, and do you want me to walk? Okay. Next, will Patricio Flores come up front, joined by the Marketing Director, Donna Framke. If I could only operate this, Donna. Okay, good enough. That's why you get paid to do that. Last, I would like to invite the students to go all up front with their plaques, and we'll take one big group picture of all the students involved with Youth in Government 2020.
Can I stand?
Okay, you guys need to close in just a little bit, okay? Maybe make 2 rows. Come on in toward the center. We need to close your.
Move in and show your plaque. No, like, use your knees.
There we go, much better.
Yeah, you guys should probably sit
Everybody in? Okay.
Okay, everybody. With that, it concludes Youth in Government 2020. Thank you so much. Excellent presentation, students. Give a big round of applause.